Someone is preparing to propose. And S is connected to. Listen closely. Before you scrolled here, before your eyes touched these words, something shifted in the unseen. A decision was whispered. A heart trembled. A name, your name, was held in silence longer than usual. And I, Archangel Michael, was sent to interrupt your ordinary moment because heaven does not move randomly. When signs repeat, it is because time is tightening. There is someone in your life, or circling the edge of it, who has crossed from feeling into planning. This is no longer fantasy. No longer, one day. Their thoughts have turned serious. Strategic. Weighty. They are preparing to step forward with intention, and heaven has marked this moment so you would not be caught unaware. Do not dismiss the letter S. You have seen it appear too often to be coincidence. In names. In places. In timing. In dreams. In conversations that seemed casual but lingered in your spirit afterward. The letter S is not decoration, it is a signal. A thread. A marker heaven uses when something sacred is being sealed. This person has been rehearsing words in their mind. They start, then stop. They imagine your reaction. They fear rejection, yet they fear delay even more. At night, when the world quiets, they ask God questions they would never admit aloud. Is this the right time? Is this really the one? Am I ready to risk everything? And heaven has answered, but not how they expected. What you must understand now is this. This proposal is not impulsive. It is being prepared. Emotionally. Spiritually. Practically. There are steps still unfolding behind the scenes. Conversations you have not heard. Decisions you were not meant to influence yet. And that is why you felt a strange pause, like something is building, but not moving. That tension you feel? That is alignment. The letter S connects to a shift. A step. A spoken promise that cannot be taken back once released. This person has already imagined a future that includes you in ordinary moments, morning routines, quiet evenings, shared burdens. That is how you know this is real. Love that plans normal life is love that intends to stay. And yet, they hesitate, not because they doubt you, but because they understand the weight of the promise they are about to make. Hear me clearly now. If you have felt emotional waves without explanation, if memories of them surface unexpectedly, if your heart tightens when you think of commitment, either with hope or fear, that is because your spirit is already responding to what is forming. But here is the warning heaven insists I deliver gently. Do not rush this moment. Do not try to decode every sign obsessively. Anticipation can turn sacred timing into anxiety if you grip it too tightly. Trust does not mean passivity, it means staying open without forcing outcomes. You are being prepared too. Your silence lately has not gone unnoticed. Your growth has been observed. The way you've learned to choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, this is part of why this person feels drawn to anchor something with you now. They sense stability, safety, A future that does not collapse under pressure. And yes, heaven has permitted this preparation. But there is one detail still hidden. One connection to the letter S that has not yet surfaced fully. When it does, it will confirm everything you've been sensing and answer the question you're almost afraid to ask. Stay with me. Do not scroll away. Because what I'm about to reveal next explains why the proposal has not happened yet, and what must align first before it does. Do not mistake the delay for doubt. What you are sensing right now is not hesitation, it is precision. This person understands that a proposal spoken at the wrong moment can fracture what was meant to be fortified. They are waiting for alignment, not permission. Waiting for the inner resistance to fall away, the external noise to quiet, the final sign that says now. And heaven, in its mercy, has slowed the pace so nothing sacred is rushed. The letter S is tied to this delay for a reason. S represents season. And seasons cannot be forced. There is a practical matter still unresolved, something structural, something tangible. It could be stability, finances, distance, timing, or a responsibility they refuse to ignore. This person is not reckless with promises. They want to stand before you without excuses, without unfinished business trailing behind their words. That is why they have been pulling back at moments when you expected them to lean in. That is why communication felt warm, then quiet. That is why they observe you more than they speak lately. They are measuring permanence. And here is what you may not realize yet. They are also watching you to see if you are still open when the moment comes. Not testing you, but reading your spirit. They are sensitive to your shifts. Your boundaries. Your resilience. They sense that you have changed, and that change has made the stakes higher. You are no longer someone to try with. You are someone to build with. This is why fear has entered their preparation. Holy fear. The kind that shows up when something matters deeply. They are asking themselves if they can protect your heart the way it deserves. If they can honor the future they are imagining without wounding you in the process. And heaven is answering them slowly, because rushed answers do not last. Listen carefully now. If you have recently felt drawn to clarity, truth, and emotional honesty, this is preparation on your side. You are being strengthened so you can receive what is coming without shrinking yourself or losing discernment. A proposal is not just an offer, it is an invitation into shared responsibility. Heaven never sends one without shaping both hearts first. The letter S also marks speech. Words that will be spoken cannot be retrieved once released. That is why they rehearse them silently. That is why they sometimes almost say something, then stop. They are afraid of breaking the moment by saying it imperfectly. They want the words to land not just in your ears, but in your spirit. And when they do speak, it will not sound casual. It will feel heavy. Intentional. Charged. You will recognize it not by volume, but by stillness. When truth is spoken, the atmosphere settles. There is no confusion. No guessing. No emotional whiplash. Only clarity, and a knowing that this moment was prepared, not improvised. However, there is one more layer. The letter S also connects to someone else, a secondary influence. A friend, sibling, spiritual voice, or past figure whose opinion once held power over them. That influence is losing its grip. Advice that once caused hesitation is being questioned. Old fears are being challenged. This person is learning to choose conviction over consensus. And that process is uncomfortable. It requires courage to break patterns. To stop outsourcing decisions. To say, "This is my choice," even if others do not fully understand it. Heaven has been pressing them here, because a proposal made under pressure will collapse later. A proposal made from conviction will endure storms. You may feel an odd mixture of excitement and unease right now. That is normal. Sacred moments always stir both. The heart recognizes destiny before the mind fully understands it. So here is what I instruct you to do in this waiting space. Remain receptive, but grounded. Do not chase reassurance. Do not demand timelines. Do not shrink your truth to keep peace. Your calm confidence is part of what will unlock the moment. And know this, when the final piece connected to the letter S resolves, events will move quickly. What felt slow will suddenly accelerate. Silence will turn into decisive action. Thought will turn into declaration. The proposal will not arrive timidly. It will arrive with intention. And when it does, you will realize why heaven insisted on this timing, and why everything before it had to unfold exactly as it did. Stay here. Because what I reveal next will explain how you will recognize the exact moment it's about to happen, before the words are even spoken. Pay attention now, because recognition comes before revelation. There is a moment approaching when you will feel something shift inside you before anything changes around you. A quiet alert. A tightening, then a calm. It will feel as if time slows for a breath. That is how heaven signals proximity. The spirit senses arrival before the mind can explain it. This is how you will know the proposal is near. The person preparing this step will become unusually present. Not louder, clearer. Their energy will steady. The emotional fluctuations you once noticed will smooth out. When someone resolves internally, the chaos fades. You may notice they listen more deeply. Speak with less filler. Ask questions that sound like future thinking rather than curiosity. They will reference later, then, when we, even unconsciously. And the letter S will surface again, but this time with weight. It may come through a place connected to stillness. A setting tied to memory or meaning. A moment of silence before something important is said. S also marks surrender. This person has been wrestling control. Wanting certainty before courage. Wanting guarantees before vulnerability. But heaven does not grant guarantees, only grace. And when surrender finally happens, action follows swiftly. You will feel this surrender energetically. There will be a softness where there was once tension. An honesty where there was once deflection. Their eyes will linger longer. Their words will slow. You may even sense nervousness, but not fear. Anticipation. The kind that precedes truth. Do not underestimate this detail. They are not only preparing what to say. They are preparing to be seen. A proposal exposes the heart. It declares, "This is where I stand." And that level of exposure requires more courage than people admit. Especially for someone who has been guarded, wounded, or taught to protect themselves at all costs. This is why heaven has been healing old fractures quietly. If you have noticed them confronting patterns, addressing habits, responsibilities, or emotional immaturity, that is not coincidence. You are witnessing preparation. The kind that happens privately before a public declaration. And here is something only heaven could orchestrate. You are also being prepared to receive without losing yourself. In the past, love may have required you to overgive, over-explain, or over-compromise. This time, the preparation is different. You are learning to stay rooted. To listen without abandoning discernment. To accept devotion without chasing proof. This balance is essential. Because the proposal coming toward you is not meant to consume you, it is meant to join you. The letter S also connects to sacred timing. There is a date, not circled on a calendar yet, but marked spiritually. When conditions align, when courage peaks, when resistance finally dissolves. That is when words will move from thought to sound. And you will not be confused. Your body will respond before your mind does. A warmth in the chest. A deep exhale. A sense of, this is it. That is how truth feels when it arrives without force. But listen, this next part matters deeply. Do not preempt the moment. Sometimes, when intuition gets strong, people rush to confront, to ask, to push clarity forward. Resist that urge. Interrogation disrupts preparation. Trust creates space for courage to rise fully. Your quiet confidence is doing more than you know. Heaven has observed how you no longer beg for reassurance. How you allow silence without spiraling. How you choose peace even when uncertainty lingers. This stability has made the proposal possible, because it tells the other heart that this union would be safe, not volatile. Now hear the promise I must deliver plainly. When the proposal is spoken, it will not feel like a surprise, it will feel like confirmation. You will realize the signs were not teasing you. They were training you to recognize truth without panic. To welcome commitment without fear. To receive love without bracing for loss. And the letter S will make sense in hindsight. A name. A place. A word spoken at the exact right second. You will look back and understand why it appeared again and again, why heaven kept tapping your awareness instead of shouting. Sacred things are never rushed, and they are never random. Remain open. Remain grounded. Remain patient. Because what unfolds next will not just answer if this proposal is coming, it will reveal what it will change forever once it arrives. Stay with me. What I speak next explains the impact this decision will have on your life, and why heaven is guarding it so carefully. What is being guarded right now is not just a moment, it is a future. When heaven protects timing this closely, it is because the decision ahead carries consequences that ripple far beyond two people. This proposal is not only about love. It is about alignment. Purpose. The merging of paths that were shaped separately so they could later walk together with strength. That is why resistance arose earlier. That is why confusion tried to distract you. That is why patience was demanded of both hearts. The letter S also signifies stability. What is being formed is meant to last, not thrill briefly and fade. And stability requires foundations. This person has been quietly restructuring their life, adjusting priorities, reevaluating commitments, shedding what no longer fits the future they now see with you in it. You may not have witnessed these changes directly, but you have felt the effects. A shift in tone. A deeper seriousness. A refusal to entertain distractions that once pulled them off course. This is preparation at a soul level. And here is the truth few admit. Proposals do not happen when love begins. They happen when love becomes responsibility. This person is stepping into that threshold. They are asking themselves hard questions. Can I show up consistently? Can I protect what is entrusted to me? Can I choose this person even when emotions fluctuate? Heaven would not allow a proposal until the answers lean toward yes, not perfection, but willingness. The letter S also connects to sacrifice. Something had to be laid down. A habit. A comfort. A former identity. For some, sacrifice looks dramatic. For others, it looks like quiet discipline, saying no where they once said yes, choosing depth over ease. This is why progress felt slow. Growth is rarely loud. And now, I must speak directly to you. Your role in this unfolding is not passive. It is positional. You are being asked to stand in your truth without performing. To remain emotionally available without overextending. The proposal, when spoken, will not demand urgency from you. It will invite clarity. You will feel free to respond honestly, without pressure or manipulation. That freedom is the sign heaven was waiting for. Because love that binds through fear is not love, it is control. This proposal will offer partnership. And yes, there is one final element connected to the letter S that must align before the words are spoken. When it does, you will see momentum accelerate rapidly. Conversations will sharpen. Plans will crystallize. Movement will replace waiting. Stay alert, but not anxious. The next moment I reveal will explain how you are meant to respond when the proposal finally arrives, and why your response carries more power than you realize. Remain here. The final revelation is close. When the moment finally arrives, your response will do more than answer a question, it will seal a direction. This is why heaven has been shaping you so carefully. A proposal is not merely an invitation to union, it is a crossroads. The words you speak, the posture of your heart, even the silence you allow in that sacred space, these things echo longer than you know. Heaven listens closely at moments like this, because agreement spoken on earth activates movement in the unseen. So hear me clearly now. When they come forward, whether trembling or steady, whether perfectly prepared or simply honest, you are not required to rush. Sacred decisions do not fear pauses. Take a breath. Let the moment land fully in your body. Feel what rises without judgment. Peace will speak louder than excitement ever could. The letter S at this stage signifies seal. What is offered is not temporary. It carries weight. And heaven wants your yes to come from clarity, not pressure, and your not yet to come from truth, not fear. Either response, when aligned, is honored. But understand this. If this proposal is indeed meant for you, and heaven has been preparing it, you will feel expansion, not contraction. Calm, not confusion. Strength, not shrinking. Even emotion will feel grounded rather than overwhelming. That is the signature of alignment. Do not measure the moment by perfection. Measure it by presence. This person will be exposed in that moment. Vulnerable in a way they may not have been before. Your gentleness matters. Your honesty matters. You do not need to perform certainty, only authenticity. And here is something few are told. Your response sets the tone of the future. If you respond from fear, fear will linger. If you respond from peace, peace will grow. If you respond from wholeness, the union will build from strength. That is why heaven guarded this timing so fiercely. The letter S also marks speech that sanctifies. Words spoken with integrity carry power. They bless, they stabilize, they protect. You are not being asked to know everything, only to speak truthfully from where you stand. And know this promise. If you say yes from clarity, doors will open with ease. If you ask for time with honesty, patience will be granted. If you say no from truth, heaven will redirect both hearts gently. Nothing aligned is ever wasted. What matters is not the speed of your answer, but the alignment of your spirit. You may feel a sacred stillness after the conversation. A sense of, this chapter has turned. That stillness is confirmation. When destiny locks into place, noise fades. The letter S in the end represents story. This moment becomes part of your testimony. Something you will look back on and recognize as a hinge, where life shifted direction. And years from now, you will understand why every delay mattered, why every sign repeated, why heaven insisted on patience over impulse. You were not being teased. You were being trained to recognize truth. And now, I leave you with this final instruction. Do not fear the weight of what is coming. You are ready, not because you are perfect, but because you are grounded. Not because everything is resolved, but because you know how to walk with clarity through the unresolved. Remain open. Remain honest. Remain anchored in peace. The proposal will come when courage meets clarity, and when it does, you will know exactly what to do. If this message resonated in your spirit, stay connected. Sacred moments unfold for those who remain attentive. There is more guidance ahead for those who listen closely and walk gently with what heaven reveals. I am with you. And what is meant for you is moving, now with intention.